a little while. A whopping, I think, just shy of 6 weeks since my last video. But we got our truck rebuilt. The engine's rebuilt. I'll go into more details with that here later. But I just stopped for coffee and a donut. We are heading to Lenore City to pick up another die press. Take it up to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Should be a short, easy, good icebreaker load. I think there's supposed to be 2 of them, but they're small. So they told me it's going to be around 19,000 to 20,000 pounds. So a little on the heavy side, but nothing that this thing can't handle. And we'll see how the new rebuild does. So that's that. I'll go into more details once I get loaded on how the engine rebuild went and everything else that went on, and get you guys caught up to speed. But for now, I've got about another half hour to get over to Lenore City and get loaded. So I'll talk to you guys here in a little bit. What's up? Well, we're done. Sitting over here at the Loves outside a horse cave. Back here in this little, there's like maybe 10 spots right around here. The rest of the parking lot's back that way. That's 65 over there. And it's still early in the day, but obviously, as you can tell, dropped off those die presses. That was no big deal. We dropped those off over in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and went pretty smooth. So right now I'm actually looking for work right now. I didn't know what was going to be happening for tonight and whatnot. So I'm still looking for work right now, but it's getting late and people are starting to go home, so the load board's slowing down. But hopefully I can snag something before the night's end and I can gig it for in the morning. But anyways, the truck is very dirty because it's just been sitting in the shop the entire time being worked on. I've never gotten to wash it since the last time I was out. So it is very dirty, very ugly. But obviously engine rebuild is done. Truck is doing good so far, but this is going to be the first time I pop the hood today. So you and I get to see if there's anything wrong. So it was a full in-frame. This is an 8.3 Cummins, also known as the PACCAR PX8. So basically a whole in-frame rebuild. We got a new water pump in there. One of the injectors broke, so there's a new injector in there, as well as new injector harnesses. This leak has always been here. It's part of the high pressure fuel pump. It's actually, I think it's coming from here. It's really small. I was hoping that'd go away, but yeah, it is what it is. But that side looks fine. I still got coolant, so it's not eating coolant. He was telling me that I might have to top it off with coolant a couple times as the rings start to seal or seat, which is fine. But come over here. Here you can sort of see way up in there. Brand new head. So that's a brand new head, and that exhaust manifold makes it look extremely ugly. But brand new head. That's an old leak. The one thing I can say is he didn't clean up the engine at all. So all the previous oil leaks are still there. But I could probably get some brake cleaning on there someday, or just another engine wash, pressure washer, get that all cleaned up. But anyways, that's that. Yeah, same with down on the exhaust. That's all old oil that's dripped down from there, but everything's been replaced. So another thing that I had done, you remember a while back I almost got in that accident because I couldn't stop. Well, I got me some new brakes. I don't know if you can see, but there's some new brakes in there, as well as new slack adjusters, S-cam. The brakes, I have new shoes and new drums, so it's the whole thing in the back. The only thing that wasn't changed was the cans. One of those cans is only a year old. The other one, I don't know how old that one is, but those were fine. What else did we do? The speedometer, I don't know if you guys remember, but the speedometer occasionally would jump around, and it was one of two things. It was either the transmission yoke nut. There's a nut at the back of the transmission right where the speed sensor sits. A lot of people were saying that if it gets loose, it'll throw that off and it'll want to bounce around. Well, we tightened it, it didn't do it, or it didn't fix it, so we're gonna have to order a speed sensor. That's no big deal. Normally I wouldn't care, the speedometer works, but the problem is because that's tied in with the ECU, if it ever starts to jump around, sometimes it actually thinks, it trips the computer into thinking that I'm driving. And that's not a good thing to have when you're trying to sit still and take like a 30-minute break with the truck running. So at least with the cold out now, I don't have to leave the truck running. But we'll have to get a new speed sensor in there. When I was blowing all my fuses, I still have to troubleshoot this some more. I haven't really gotten to look into it all that much since the truck wasn't in my possession in the whole time that I've been off of work. It's been sitting at the shop. But to keep a long story short, we're thinking it has something to do with the computer. And the computer is in the ABS computer. We're thinking, or at least I'm thinking, it is sending an over voltage. It's this computer right here. We're thinking it's sending a voltage spike or whatever, because that runs, the fuse that's blowing is tied into my engine brake. So if ABS kicks in with the engine brake on, it kills the engine brake automatically. And it goes through that, and that engine brake pulls power from the key switch. So we're thinking, again, I'm thinking that something in that computer is sending an over voltage or something. It goes through that engine brake relay and into the power draw, the key switch where it's getting its power, and it's blowing it. I could be completely wrong, but that's my theory. Right now the ABS is completely disabled. One of the things I could do to test my theory on that is I could pull that engine brake relay and plug in the rest of the ABS stuff, and in theory I'll still have ABS, but if I get wheel slip, with the engine brake on, it shouldn't be able to kill the engine brake. So if that's the case, then that tells me that there is something up with the computer. If it continues to blow the fuse even with that out, then I'm not entirely sure. But if it is, that computer is like $1,100 brand new. I did not feel like buying one. I might actually look at a junkyard, see if I can find one, and just put a used one in there, because you could get those for about 400 bucks doing it that way. But that's kind of my thoughts there. As far as other things with the truck, not much else I can think of. Everything else is doing pretty solid. So yeah, trying to think. I had my DOT inspection done while I was sitting over there, so that's taken care of. I still need to remember, I put these the steering lockout right here on this axle. I still need to plumb that. I haven't gotten around to doing that one yet either, but this is all for the future. I've been home for 6 months, geez, 6 weeks. So I wanted to get this truck back out on the road. So I'll take care of some of that stuff later. Overall though, solid stuff. If you guys wanted to know, with the engine rebuild, parts and labor, the rear brakes, a full PM, and DOT inspection ran me right at $18,000. So now you know. The engine rebuild was about $15,000 to do that. The rest was everything else. So one of the things that set me back on the engine rebuild was the connecting rods. When you order a rebuild kit, it does not come with connecting rods, and basically the mechanic went to start put stuff back together, and some of the rods just were a little bit out of spec, as in they had a little bit of play going on. So we had to wait and order some new rods, and that took about a week before they showed up. So all in all, the whole rebuild didn't really take more than about a week and a half, but with waiting for parts and doing the other stuff, the truck was in the shop for 3 weeks. So anyways, that's that. I'm gonna continue searching for some more work. Hopefully I can find something good. But yeah, I'm glad to get this video back out to you guys, and I'm gonna be working up towards Christmas, so I'm gonna try to keep getting some videos up until then. So in the meantime, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.